Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. Super excited today to continue our look at some of the Lego industry and related builds that we are looking to work on for our layout. Really excited about the potential of how we're going to be able to fill in a lot of great details and structures around our city and the rest of the rail layout. So let's dive in and take a closer look at some of these awesome instruction sets and upcoming builds that we would like to work on. So the first set of instructions that we're going to look at today is for the Lego Union Pacific Shelton Depot. This design is by Jeff Pinkerton, Japaz on Rebrickable. We've talked about some of his amazing builds before and really excited about the potential of this one. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'd like to have a train station in this general area of the city layout. So that's basically right in the middle with the city on both sides there, and then a park area in the middle here. I've got at least one other design that I'm considering for the station area, but I think that this one is really cool, not only for the coloring of it, but the general shape. It's a really nice size. This particular set of Mills modules here is 2x2, which is quite reasonable. It would fit really nicely into that area there on the layout. And I also think it would be a really nice one to be able to transport to Lego shows as well, just due to not only how great it looks, but the size of it as well. It's a very manageable size. So even if we don't include this one in the city here, and I think we will try it out there, but we'll run a couple of different stations through there and see how they look. But even if it doesn't end up being the station that we have here in the main part of the city, I could definitely see it popping up in other parts of our layout, or at the very least being something that we keep for use at Lego shows. So really happy with the look of this particular train station here. And some other details that stand out from the build. A really big fan of all the trees and plants that he puts around his models to really flesh out the scenery. And there's some carts here for loading, unloading the train as well, which I think are a really cool, nice touch. So really excited about this particular build. Next up, we've got the Lego Modern Coaling Tower, another design by Jeff Pinkerton from Rebrickable. The thing that really caught my eye about this particular design, it really reminded me of structures that we've seen at Brick World Chicago and Bricks Cascade in layouts. And the Brick World Chicago layout that I'm thinking of in particular was the one done by Penn Lug quite a few years ago now, but really impressive rail yard area with a structure like this. And I could really see this working well in our rail yard section of the layout here in the Lego room. I think it's a really prominent structure that would fit in quite well with some of the other things that we want to do in our rail yard. And as a bonus, it would look awesome as well if we took it to a Lego show. So really think it could add a lot. And I really want to add a number of things to this rail yard section of our layout here. We've been doing a lot of work in the city proper, and we'll continue to do a number of things there, but it would be really nice to start adding some more structures to the rail yard aspect of what we have here. Now, a couple other things that really stood out for me here. I like the fact that there are a number of track options here that could stage locomotives that are not active and running around the layout. So it gives a lot of opportunities for displaying multiple locomotives and trains in addition to what is running around the main line. I believe this is 3 base plates by 3 base plates across there. I would definitely look at adding some more track out this way so that we can have the double main line moving by on the outside, and then these 3 tracks here would be non mainline track that would connect in with switches back to the main line. So really cool potential there, I think. Always looking for ways that we can have interesting ways that we can have multiple sets of trains active and on display at the same time around the layout. And so I think that has a lot of potential. Again, I really like all of the tree work that he has added in around the structure. I think it adds a lot of life and vibrancy to the scene. And I really like the coaling tower structure itself. Really nice to see these walkways and stairways up to the different portions of the structure. Just a ton of detail packed in there. So really cool structure that I think will add a lot to our mainline portion of the rail yard here, as well as giving us some interesting sort of offshoots from that main line to stage more trains. Now, as you move down through the rail yard area, we come to the end of the tables where we've talked about the possibility of putting in a couple of different industries. We've talked about the possibility of having a forestry related area over here, a lot of trees built up and some forestry industry. I think that could work really well over there. The other thing that I think could work pretty well there is a mine. And, I'm imagining the possibility of a set of mountains built up at the end of the table there, and then a mine in and around that. I think it could look really cool and work out well. And towards that end, I've picked up an awesome set of instructions called the Ironhead Mine. These are from Rebrickable and are by Yellow's XLF. Really awesome work here by the designer. A lot of great details. Really big fan of these structures here. And I really like the support structures as well for loading up the train cars that are coming by the mine. And in addition to the mine itself, it comes with instructions for these plank wagons, which can be used to, transport materials from the mine to other parts of the layout. Really awesome idea, I think. And in addition to that, I really like some of the extra little details here. There's the, I guess power lines here is probably what these are. I think that's a really nice touch around the area, and, could be used for kind of connecting this particular set of modules to another set around the layout and provide some continuity as those poles are, wind their way through the layout. Also, again, really like the trees and the sort of shrubbery around this particular build. I think it adds a lot. And, I think that some of the support structures here around the buildings, this looks like it's it's like a wheel for maybe moving mine carts or for hauling stuff up from the mine. It's just a nice extra detail that they've included there around that building for, some additional story about how this mine is working and what's going on inside. And I think there's a lot of potential to even stretch this out farther. Right now, kind of looks to me like it's 2 base plates by 3 base plates, possibly. And you could very easily stretch that out and add some more support structures and various buildings around this mine. So really excited about the potential of this, and something that we will be considering for how that can fit into this portion of the layout over here. I definitely think there's a lot of real estate to play with there, and I think we can make the mine and the forestry areas play together and work nicely over here. So excited to see where we can take that. Now, in addition to all of the buildings that we're looking to add around the layout, definitely need to have a number of support vehicles that fit in with those different structures. And I've picked up some awesome instruction sets from Yellow's XLF on Rebrickable for some different structure support vehicles. So related to our grain elevator that we talked about in the previous video, I think these grain trailers will look awesome, both as vehicles that can be located next to the grain elevator, but I could also see these on a roadway nearby the grain elevator to communicate grain being taken away from the elevator to the city. So really excited about the potential of these trailers. Definitely need to consider what kind of truck I'll have pulling these. And I'll need to make sure that the trailers size up appropriately to fit with that truck. But just as a one-off sort of type of vehicle here, I think this is going to add a lot to the layout and some of the story around our industry buildings that we're adding. Next up, we've got the Fargo oil truck. Really like the look of this oil truck, and I think it could go really nicely with the some of the oil-related industry buildings that we've talked about around the layout. It's another one that I think could show up in multiple places. It could be right near some of the oil buildings, or it could be closer to the city, communicating the transportation of the oil and gas to the city itself. So really like the look of this vehicle, and I think it will add a lot as well. And then last but not least, we've got some forestry related vehicles. And we've got the water tanker truck here, pump truck here, and a service truck. Really nice package of vehicles, which I think will look really cool in and around some of the forest areas in our layout. And, it's nice to be able to have some of those industry and sort of area specific vehicles that can be in and around the various structures and vegetation that we build. I think it'll add a lot. We can have a number of minifigures paired up here, and I think it will add a lot to the look of the forest area in particular that we're building. So really excited about the potential of these vehicles. We'll need to think about what type of outfits we'll need for our minifigures to pair up with these vehicles, but really excited about the potential of these. And as I mentioned, all 3 of these instruction sets were from Yellow's XLF on Rebrickable. I'll include links below so that you can go check out the various Rebrickable pages and see not only these great instructions, but also the other instruction sets that these designers have available. Next up, we've got an awesome set of instructions for a Lego ice house and platform building, again by Jeff Pinkerton from Rebrickable. Really awesome idea. And I wasn't entirely sure of some of the history behind the ice houses and platforms on rail lines. So I found an interesting industrial history page, which I will also link below in case you're interested in checking it out. But you can see here, they show an ice manufacturing and storage plant in Huntington, Pennsylvania, and very similar to the design here that Jeff has chosen for his Lego ice house and platform. And, they talk here about how the ice was harvested and used to store perishables in homes and the rail cars before refrigeration was invented. So a really kind of interesting piece of rail history that I think could look really cool around the layout. I don't know where I will put this in our particular layout, but I think it would add a lot, and it would definitely look great at shows as well. And this is a good example of I'm very open around the layout to including structures from different time periods of rail history. And, as long as they sort of add some interesting story and, we can build up some interesting details around them, I think that, they'll add a lot. And I really like the size of this particular structure. It looks to be, I think we've got 4 base plates this way and 2 base plates this way. So quite a sizable structure and layout element. But, I really like the size of the ice house itself here. It looks like you've got probably conveyor belts here that are taking ice up or down. And then you've got the platform structure here where the train cars can pull up and the ice can be loaded into them. And the instruction set comes with information on how to extend the platform out if you want to make it a larger structure, so you can support longer trains pulling up beside it. Currently it has the one track going by it. Would definitely need to think about how that would work into the layout. I wouldn't expect that to be a mainline track piece there. So we'd need to think about how that would fit back onto the main line, so for trains coming off and back on to the main line. But just a really awesome structure, and also really like the choice of all the brown in here for the platform base and up around the conveyor belt area. Really gives the feeling of all of these things being made out of wood and being a bit older and not necessarily as modern as some other elements or structures you might see around a railroad in this day and age. So really excited about the potential of this particular one. It was interesting to read some of the history of the ice houses and platforms, and I thought it was particularly interesting to see that structure there from Huntington, Pennsylvania, which looks quite similar to this particular design that Jeff has chosen. Now, if you're interested, Jeff also offers a couple other variations on Lego Ice House and platform styles on Rebrickable, which are very interesting. I highlighted those in a post on adamsbrickjunction.com. So definitely feel free to head over there and check that out, or follow the links below to look at Jeff's Rebrickable page. Now, one last instruction set that I wanted to highlight is the Lego McGraw Oil Company by Jeff Pinkerton. Now, in our last Lego industry video, we talked about a different oil company sort of area that Jeff had designed. And I talked about potentially adding that to the layout over on this section right over here. What I really like about this additional oil company layout is the potential for relatively easily swapping in and out some similar but different style of structures to add some variety over time to the layout. Really like the idea that I could have, just by swapping out 3 mills modules here, I could probably end up with a different looking oil area around the layout for a period of time, and then I could swap them again for the other oil company. And just little things like that I think would be nice to add some variety both to the layout here, but then it gives different options for something that could be taken to Lego shows as well. So, ultimately I expect around the layout that we're going to end up with more buildings and structures than we can have on the tables at any one point in time. But, if I've got the option to easily swap some of those around periodically, I think it would look nice. It would really add a lot in terms of the variety to the layout. And, like I said, it gives us some different things to pull from when we're looking to take modules to a Lego show. So really excited about the potential of this build from that perspective. I also just really like the support buildings here for loading and unloading oil from train cars and into trucks that are pulling up to this area. And I really like the look of the tank structures here as well. Really nice vertical tanks there, I think, with the ability to then do some interesting decal work on those for whatever oil company you want to have around your layout. In this case, he's made it the McGraw oil company, but that's not something that you're tied to. It gives an area that you could do some decal work for both the tanks and maybe for the truck that's hauling oil to and from the city. You can have a nice sort of connection from the buildings here to vehicles around your layout, which I think would be really cool. So really happy with the look of this oil company and the potential that it brings to our layout and what we're trying to do in general. So those are all of the Lego industry and support building instruction sets that I wanted to highlight in today's video. Really excited, as I said, about how those will interact with our layout and some of the awesome things that we should be able to accomplish with them. And, as I've mentioned, we got a lot of interesting projects underway around the Lego room. Lots of great things ahead in terms of lighting and builds that are going to start going up around the city and the rail yard. And we've got a number of interesting Bricklink orders that have come in and that should be coming in over the next little while that will allow us to embark on some of these additional projects. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of those upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.